what are some key insights or advice that you could give to our listeners on the business of what you do? We talked about, the inspiration. We talked about purpose. We talked about abilities, right? But there are aspects of entertainment, edutainment, whatever pocket that you work in that has a business element that I feel like as people of color, we're not always privy to until we actually get into it and we make a mistake, and we get taken advantage of, or we sell ourselves short for our own value and our own gifts. Can you give me some advice or some insights for our listeners in that regard?
That is a big question too. We could pretty much have a whole entire podcast just on every single one of your questions. And I think it's really needed within the industry too. So I know your whole creative cipher is all kinds of it, but there are a few people out there too who are doing it. Gia Stinchcomb, Sunshine Gee on IG. She started playing with it, but she'll do like little videos of production etiquette. I think it's so cool. So
I'm gonna have to get her on the show. I'm gonna have to bring her on the show for sure.
She's a great of Atlanta. Shout out to Gee. No, I would say in terms of the business aspect, my husband, shout out to my husband. He's been my rock, my everything. And it's been such a wonder to my career to have him working from home now too, and because he gets to overhear all of my conversations and then gives me sometimes he'd be in the background like, or he'll just give me that look because I talk a lot and I'll start rambling like y'all know. And look from that, and he'll be like, or if I'm on a roll, he'll be like, wrap it up. I just explain too much. Okay, Business 101, say less. Say less. Always say less. Don't give everyone an explanation. You're late. They don't give a why you late. Don't tell them why you late. Just apologize sincerely for being late and keep moving forward. Okay. I appreciate your patience. I apologize for being late. I appreciate your patience. Keep going. We don't care why you late. Say less. My husband reminds me of that very often, what else? That's a business note. Like just say less. Set expectations low and then kick them out the park, and then just deliver, then put your flavor on it, start off with the basic, because we know what we can do, and sometimes we give so much on the front end where then that's their expectation. We set their expectation high, and then clients are going to be clients. My point is, set your expectation at the basic and then sprinkle your secret sauce on it and go ahead and surprise them on the back end and make them happy. But that was something that I'm currently working on is, being very purposeful about that. It's really weird how our industry is, or really just in general, the work world is like, don't share rates and how much you get paid. And that's a little different on our end. As a producer, I'm privy to what other people get paid because I handle budgets and make sure they get paid, and stuff like that. And I do a lot of the negotiating on that end too, which is interesting. But I think that research for yourself as a freelancer or any talent skill you're gonna offer up, craft, research it, ask other people how much they're gonna get paid for these things, and then set your standard there, and then be willing to be flexible. Obviously how it is. Me as a producer, I like to know somebody's rate because I want to try to hit their rate, but not every project, I don't dictate the budgets, so not every project we can hit that, and then I'll have a conversation with you. But sometimes people won't know their rates and things like that, and then it's like, so research your rate and figure out what it is. And I'm not knocking other people, because as a talent, I'm talent in so many different ways. Even me as a producer, sometimes I didn't know what to charge people, and then in a producer mindset, I'm always thinking like, how do I maximize, giving the client efficiency, cost, time, money, and everything efficiency, and then double that efficiency for us, to really try to, get that creative done, but doing it in such a way where it's like, we can be efficient on our end too. So I had to do a lot of research too, like, dang, well, if I'm this type of talent, how much do I charge? And, everything like that. So to sum all that up, do research on your rates. You got to know your rate first, and then be willing to be flexible, with who you have too. So, and having those rate conversations. I recently had somebody invoice me right away. I hired him. I've never worked with him before. He came highly recommended. We vetted him over the phone. Great. We're going to work with him. It's out of state too. Homeboy invoiced me right away. But what was listed on there were very thorough notes of everything I had verbally said to him, which I appreciated. All his information, he sent me his W-9, I didn't have to ask, you know, and at first I was kind of taken aback because, like, I haven't even worked with you, you know, you're asking me for the money already. That's my mentality. I'm trying to get rid of that money. That mentality. I'm getting rid of that mentality, you know. Invoice right away. I'm about to start doing that. And I put that on my IG the other day. I said invoice immediately. I'm bad with invoicing. You know, I'll turn around and be like, dang, I'm about to invoice for $5,000. You know, it's like, what am I doing with myself right now? You know, no, you need to like invoice right away, and don't be scared to do that. You know, as a freelancer, right up front, because I had to readjust the producer in me that said, dang, he invoiced me right away, and then I was like, you know what? I appreciate that he did that. He gave me all the info. I don't have to go chasing him for it. And you know, I know right away where he stood because he took notes. I know he knows what I meant. Like, great, moving forward. So those are all my little business notes.